How you doing, Bobby?
Hi, David.
How are you?
Good.
So what's your sport?
I play soccer
Do you?
sometimes. Yeah,
What position do you play in?
I play in the central midfield.
Oh, okay. So you're good at kicking the ball and passing the ball around, are you?
Mhm.
And before you start asking me, who's your favorite football team?
Barcelona.
Okay. Does that mean you like Messi? Is it?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
That's
not
my
bad, is he? All right. So you have some questions for me, do you?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a few questions about like your running and like what you do now.
Okay.
So probably just to start off, like a simple question, like how did you get on during like the lockdown? Like was it tough or was it easy?
I'll be honest. Initially, I found it quite hard because it was so different. Overnight, everything shut down. As you guys know, your school's closed. And likewise for me, I work for myself. I go into a lot of companies. So in the corporate world, so these big offices, I'd go in and I'd give talks and I'd work with people in terms of their physical and their mental well-being. And then suddenly I couldn't do that anymore. So I was at home. I have two little kids as well. Oscar's 4 and Olivia's only 2. So their crash closed. So my wife works. So overnight we were then all at home. So the routine changed. So I didn't really have as much time for myself as I used to. So yeah, to answer your question, initially it was quite hard. But then I got into a bit of a routine. I was able to structure my day. I knew what I needed to do. And I made sure that I got exercise on a regular basis so I could just, clear the head a little bit and feel good about myself. And then, to be honest with you, I actually enjoyed the lockdown because I didn't have a whole lot of distractions. I was able to just spend time with my kids and my wife and my family, and those things are really important. So overall, I suppose I turned it into a bit of a positive. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Are you doing much running lately, or have you like stopped completely?
So I retired from competitive athletics,
Yeah.
so competitions and things like that. I don't do anymore, but I still run. I would do a lot of like the park runs and things like that when they were obviously on. And right now, I would just do some of my own running sessions in my local park. A lot of interval runs and things like that, 5Ks. But I also cycle quite a lot now. So I really enjoy getting out my bike, particularly when the weather's good. And yeah, it's a different challenge, and it's something new, and I think it's important to try new things. So yeah, keep active, which is the main thing.
Yeah. Okay, to start this interview off, I'm just going to ask you a simple question. What county were you born in?
I was born in Dublin.
Yeah. How did it feel representing Ireland in running, competitive running?
It was amazing. I think when I was, what age are you?
I'm 11.
You're 11. Okay, so similar age. I suppose the dream was that one day I'd represent Ireland in the Olympic Games. So it was a dream, and sometimes you think, oh, will it ever happen? Maybe I'm not good enough. So for me to get to that level and wear the Irish vest in some of the biggest stage of all the Olympic Games was brilliant, and I really loved that. Really loved representing Ireland, and it gave me such a boost. So it was an amazing feeling.
Okay. What did you want to be as like a young boy before you wanted to be a runner?
I wanted to drive boats.
Yeah.
I wanted to drive big ferries. That was it. I wanted to be a sea captain. Don't know why, but I just thought it was a cool job to do. So that was it before I ever knew that I could actually, I suppose, be a sports person.
Yeah. What made you what made you what made you like start with like running like?
So in my family, I'm the youngest of 4 kids. So I have 2 older brothers, a sister, and then me. And I was very lucky in the area that I grew up. There was a running club at the end of my road. That's Dundrum South Dublin Athletic Club. And all my brothers and sisters, they went down there, and I just followed suit. And that was how it all started. So when I was probably about 8 or 9, I went down to the running club, and that was something that stuck with me for the rest of my life. So that's how I got into athletics. And then also I had a very good teacher in my primary school, like you do with Mr. Howard there. And my teacher was Mrs. Hogan, and she loved running. And every year they come in a bun school, she promoted it. She got us all running, and that was kind of again where it started. And it's really important to have these people around you. So a running club, a good teacher, and that's where it all started.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite moment in your career?
Ooh, well, do you know what? I'm very lucky that I probably have a few. Okay, so the dream was that maybe one day I'd win a medal and I would do what's known as the lap of honor with the national flag, and then I got on the podium and the national anthem would be played. And for me, that happened on two occasions, 2005 and 2007. What year were you born in?
I was born in 2009.
Okay, yeah. So a little bit before your time. But they were brilliant moments, okay? So there's two, but I think for me, in 2009, the year you were born, I came sixth in the World Championships. And for me, that was a big achievement because I wanted to be up there with some of the best athletes.
Yeah, we watched the video on that.
Okay.
Yeah, we watched it.
Did I win?
No. It's still a great achievement though.
Thank you.
It's very hard to qualify for a world championship.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
How did you feel when you retired from competitive running?
Yeah, I felt sad. My body began to kind of cry a little bit. My injuries, and it just came to the point where you know what, I couldn't compete at that level, and I had to make it a really hard decision. Because it wasn't just about competing; it was my life. I trained 6 days of the week. All my friends were involved in athletics, and then suddenly it all ends. So I found it really hard. My routine changed. I didn't really know what I wanted to do because for so long I wanted to just run and compete. So it was a tough time, and I felt a bit sad about myself. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I stopped exercising. I wasn't eating well, and I just felt I had no real kind of energy. So that didn't make me feel good about myself.
Okay, so were you nervous like coming up to a race, like a few hours before a race, or when
a few days
or something?
Yeah, I used to get very nervous, particularly when I was younger, because I would just try. I wanted to desperately perform well, and I put a lot of pressure on myself. But as I got a little bit older, I began to understand how to deal with that anxiety and that nerves and that feeling that you get in your stomach. And I kind of turned it around in my head. I made it into a positive that, you know what, when you're nervous, it's actually a good thing because it shows that you care. And when you care, you'll perform. And it was just about managing that. So little simple things I used to do. I used to focus on my breathing. So I'd breathe in and exhale out nice and slow to calm myself down. I used to get a pen and paper and I used to write down some of the negative thoughts in my head. So, I'm going to come last, or people are going to think I'm useless. I write them all down and then rip them up and chuck them in the bin. And that's how I got rid of all those thoughts and then just focused on the positives. So I used to remind myself of all my past races and training sessions and things like that.
Okay. So when you decided to start competitive running, who was your running idol?
I think at the time we had like Sonia Sullivan, who you might know. Like Sonia was a phenomenal athlete and competed at the highest level and won medals. So for an Irish person to have her as a role model, that was really encouraging. And then also the likes of, say, Michael Johnson at the time as well was the world record holder over 200 meters and 400 meters. And then probably also growing up, I follow football, and Roy Keane was a huge idol of mine at the time, just for his sheer kind of doggedness and hard working. And those are probably people that I really enjoyed kind of following their careers and gave me a lot of inspiration.
How old were you when you started competitive running?
Probably like, competitively around the Dublin, probably under 10s. And then I would have progressed internationally when I was maybe kind of my late teens. And that would have been kind of, I suppose, when I got really competitive into it. So probably in school, like you guys there, the Cumming and Bun School was probably the first one where I was competitive.
Okay. Do you have any dreams now, like in cooking or anything like that?
Yeah, I do. And I'll be honest, it's probably taken me a while to redefine those goals and what I want to achieve. But now I have a family. It's the real world. I have to pay bills and all that sort of stuff that you guys don't even think about. So I want to provide the best kind of life I can for my kids and have a nice home. And obviously, be fulfilled and be happy in the work that I do. So, for me right now, it's kind of working on my own little business that I have and trying to kind of improve that. And then also look after myself in terms of exercise. So kind of a challenge would be to maybe race in terms of cycling as well. Okay. So that, two little things there. So work and then obviously in the sporting field as well.
How many cooking books have you sold?
Have I sold? Okay. That's a really good question. I think I have sold roughly about 16 or 17,000 cookbooks.
Yeah, my store brought in
There we go.
cooking books today.
That's a nice one. God, look at that guy. Isn't he so fit and healthy looking?
What do you like? What do you think is the best food to eat for athletics in this book here?
So in that was my first book. So there's things like porridge and things like that. You can't get away from porridge and how good that is, and fresh vegetables and fruit and things like that, particularly in the morning time, can really kind of help for running or any sport. But also, like, you looking at your plate of food and making sure that you're getting enough good carbohydrates, good proteins, and veg, and just keeping things kind of simple. So in that book there, I do love the turkey burgers. Went down very well. You like them, do you?
Yeah. We seen a video where you were on a YouTube channel making the protein balls that making the protein balls that are in this book.
Yeah, protein balls are good, and like they're really easy to make. So all you guys are well able to make them and put them in your lunch boxes.
Yeah, my mom actually made them once for me before.
Only once.
Before, yeah. Cause she normally only her and dad eat them she I don't really eat like protein stuff. I don't really eat protein stuff because I prefer like when I'm older to start eating protein like the protein bars and
yeah. But the protein balls are good. You should make them for your mum and dad.
Yeah,
and make them for Mr. Howard there as well. He likes them.
I'm hungry.
All right. What jobs do you have now?
So I'm very lucky. I've a good few things going on. So I do a bit of TV work, and unfortunately this year there was no Olympics, so I couldn't go to Tokyo. So I do a lot of athletic coverage with RTE. Then I have a little business where I work a lot in the corporate. So go into workplaces and work along the lines of promoting physical and mental well-being and things like that. And then obviously, like you mentioned there with the cookbook, I do a bit of work in terms of kind of food. So I work with a couple of brands in relation to highlighting kind of healthy food, recipe development, and things like that. So yeah, very lucky in terms of what I do. I also do a good bit of work with marathon kids because I know you guys have done that over the years.
Yeah.
Go on.
The class last year went to Marathon Kids last year. It was Santry. Santry,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're all fit and you're all well able to run then.
Okay. How long did you do competitive running for?
At the elite level, probably I'd say the guts of 15 years. So probably when I was about 15, 16, and then all the way up to when I was about 30.
How happy were your family when they learned that you were a competitive runner?
Yeah, they were very proud. I think they enjoyed the whole kind of journey that I was on because when the summer came and I was racing at major championships, they'd all come and they'd make a holiday out of it. And I suppose I only really understand that now when I see other parents and other family members watching their their son or their daughter on the track, and how proud they are in the stands. And I suppose it makes me feel good that I was able to give that opportunity to my friends and family.
Yeah. What would be your favorite sport if running didn't exist?
I do. Growing up, I loved soccer and I loved playing GAA. They were the two sports that I did outside of athletics. But I think now, like, I do a bit of cycling. So right now, I'm loving the Tour de France and Sam Bennett and the green jersey and all that. And I think sometimes I've a more I understand, say, cycling now because I do a little bit. So, when I see how hard those guys work and how they race and stuff like that, it's amazing. So, yeah, like probably going back to the soccer. If I could be good at another sport, I think soccer would be cool. Up front, number 9 jersey, banging in loads of goals, and everyone chanting my name in the stands. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. You helped out with the Marathon Kids. Like you're the ambassador of Marathon Kids. Can you tell the class when you became the ambassador of Marathon Kids?
So I got involved with Marathon Kids, God, probably maybe 4 years ago by this stage. And it's great because it's gotten bigger and bigger each year. And, the whole kind of idea was to support teachers and kind of help introduce activity on a daily basis into classrooms. And it's been really, really positive. I think the workbook has been really helpful. So you're learning things about exercise. It's not just, right, you have to go out and run, but what are the benefits of it? And everything from food to sleep to social, and even in your communities with all your various kind of clubs that people are involved in. And also what is really important about the basics of running, it helps. Some people don't like running, but if you look at Messi in Barcelona, Messi's very fast, Ronaldo's very fast, and they're fit. So if we can become a little bit quicker, a little bit fitter, well, then that's going to help the sport that you do love. So I think it's really important. And again, trying to create a journey for people like you, that you start at one end and then you build all the way up. It's an incentive, and it kind of motivates people to go, do you know what, I'm getting better, I'm able to run longer, and that's really important.
Yeah. We have a Marathon Kids book here from last year, because Mr. Howard and his whole class from last year went to the Marathon Kids in Sanctuary a year ago. We made a YouTube video.
Yeah, I saw the YouTube video. It's very cool, and I think was I there that day?
Yeah. The source said, Mr. Howard said that you were handing out medals.
I was, yeah.
But the camera couldn't catch it because someone was blocking your view.
Well, I was moving too fast. I think we handed out nearly 5,000 medals that day.
We are running on yard at the moment, and many of us play with teams. Is there any tips that you can give us for becoming an athlete?
I think you've got consistency, okay, and what I mean by that is trying to train on a regular basis, because that improves, okay, and challenge yourself as well. So distance wise, if you get comfortable at one distance, try and add in a little bit more, and that makes you better. Also the exercises. So even in terms of Marathon Kids, there's other resources there that highlight some exercises that you can do just to help kind of strengthen your body. And I know Mr. Howard is very good in that space as well. So, it's that all kind of things. It's not just one thing. I think rest as well. You got to kind of allow your body to rest and recover. And for me, the areas that I really improved upon as I got older was rest. So I slept more, I made sure I recovered, and also my food. Okay, making sure that I was staying hydrated, drinking plenty of water, eating good food, because I was training on a regular basis. I needed to make sure that I was improving and giving myself everything that I needed, and that kind of helped become the overall good athlete.
Okay, I think other people are going to come up and ask you a few questions as well. So thank you for taking your time to
No, well, thank you for all the great questions. All right, so best of luck. Keep playing football, keep running, and make your mum and dad and your teacher some those protein balls.
Thanks, David. I hope to see you soon.
Cheers. Take care.
Hi David, my name is Devin, and who do you prefer, Ronaldo or Messi?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I'm gonna go with Ronaldo.
What is your favorite bag of crisps, King or Tato?
Okay. Tato by themselves, but King in a crisp sandwich.
Who do you rather, Man U or Liverpool?
I'm going to go for Man United.
What do you rather, Twix or Mars?
Twix all day.
GAA or rugby?
GAA.
Tea or coffee?
I'm a tea man.
Homework or no homework?
No homework. Come on.
One more person. Thank you. Goodbye.
See ya. Bye. There was no messing there.
Hello.
How you doing?
My name is Johnny, and I just have one question.
Okay.
Why do you prefer long distance runs over sprints?
I prefer sprints. Okay, I prefer interval training. I think sometimes when I go for a long run, I get a little bit bored. Whereas I like kind of breaking it up and doing kind of intervals where I can run a little bit faster and then maybe rest for a bit and then run a little bit faster. So I love that sprint kind of interval-based training.
Aye.
No.
One more question.
Hi David, my name's Dean. What do you prefer? Who do you prefer, Roy Keane or Robbie Keane?
That's a tough one, but no, Roy Keane for me.
And if you could play for one football team, who would it be?
Okay, well, do you want to have a guess, right? Guess what team I support?
I think you support Man U.
No. I'll give you a clue, okay? No, they're not in the Premier League. They're an English team, but they're not in the Premier League.
Wickham?
No, Wickham got promoted into League One, was it?
Yeah.
Sorry, into Championship. All right, here's another clue. They're not even in the Championship.
Yeah. Oxford?
No. They used to have a very strong Irish connection. So one of the who?
Salford.
No, it does begin with S.
Sunderland.
Yeah, Sunderland. We used to be good. We used to be in the Premier League.
All right, thanks.
No worries.
One last question.
Hello, David.
How you doing?
Good, yeah. My name is Lisa.
How are you?
I'm good, yeah. I'm going to ask you a question about when you were in school.
Okay.
What was your favorite subject?
My favorite subject, do you know, I loved I enjoyed maths. I did love PE, but also I loved geography and history. Now, I loved kind of like learning about the past and then like rivers and mountains and things like that. Those are things that kind of interested me. What's your favorite subject?
My favorite subject is maths because I find everything easy in it.
Oh, very good. Okay. You're good with numbers. That's important.
Yeah, and science because like you get to do lots of experiments and stuff.
Yeah. Science is pretty cool as well. When you get a little bit older, you might even start dissecting things. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they do that in our secondary.
Yeah, in secondary, yeah. I think the first thing we dissected was a worm. That was pretty cool.
I think it might be a bit out of my limit to dissect the worm.
At the moment.
Yeah.
In good time.
Sorry, we'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye. David.
See you later. Bye.
All right, David, thanks very much
Yeah, no worries.
for taking on those calls.
Yeah.
These boys here are wondering, have you got any medals to show us? Yeah,
Yeah.
home.
Give me 1 second.
Right.
1 second.
Deadly.
The only thing that I'm going to do is my all my homework.
But you said no homework, so that means no homework for the rest of the year. We'll give you Protein Monster, okay?
Okay.
So, this was my first European medal. That was from Madrid in 2005, so it's a funny shape. So that was my first big medal, but it was also Ireland's first medal in a sprint event in about 83 years. So it's pretty cool. And then on the back, you get it. They give it to you all when it's all engraved. So they have the winning time, your name, country, and then the event. So that was a big one for me. And then I backed that up in 2007 in Birmingham at the European Championships. And I won my second European medal. And again, it's pretty standard round medal, but it's pretty cool. And then on the back again, it's all engraved. And then the other one I have.
We watched that one on YouTube, and it was actually the one where you kind of caught the fella at the very end.
Yeah, timed it right. Yeah. It was. I'd say I actually ran pretty fast that day. That time was a huge personal best, a national record. And
5.6 or something, was it?
45.52. Yeah. And that qualified me for Beijing. So again, that was kind of a big deal. And then this one's actually a world medal that I won as part of a 4x400 meter relay in Budapest at the World Indoor Championships. That was back in 2004. So they'd be some of my big medals, and probably the ones that kind of mean a lot, you know. So that one's cool because that's quite heavy. So,
Right. Great. Okay, well, look, on behalf of the class, I'd just like to thank you very much for coming in. It was excellent. The boys really enjoyed it, didn't you, boys?
Yeah!
I think they really enjoyed it. They got a lot of good information there. So thanks very much for taking the time.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me in, and appreciate all the great questions. Some curveballs in there as well, but all good. And remember that King crisps for a tater or for a King Chris sandwich.
We've a person over here was shouting King Chris. He's absolutely right. He was saying.
Yeah.
So, and I just want to say thanks to Bobby for the interview and for doing a great job. So well done, Bobby. Give Bobby a round of applause.
Hello, Bobby.
Okay, we leave it at that. Dave. Thanks so much.
Cheers. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Perfect.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.